I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. No second guess it, I let it set in. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G sitting alongside Rio and Jimmer today, and we have the 157-pound champ on the phone today.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away, Rio. Go ahead and introduce our guy, man.
Yeah, today we do have a special guest, Ryan Deakin from Northwestern University, on the phone with us. How's it going today, Ryan?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing better now after some technical difficulties, but
Yeah. For some reason, it was recording all our voices on your phone call track. So looking much better now. So we're going to go ahead and jump in some questions and talk a little bit about wrestling.
Awesome.
Okay, first off, when did you start wrestling?
Yeah, so I started wrestling. I was like 7 years old. My dad saw an ad in the paper and kind of came up to me and asked me if I wanted to wrestle. I think he thought I had a little too much energy and I didn't know any better. So
Yeah.
So I said sure, and so I started halfway through a season in January, and I'd missed all our gear order forms and stuff, so I had to go to the sporting goods store and grab a singlet, and was the only one on my team with a red singlet, and everybody else was wearing a blue one. So that's the only thing I remember from my first year of wrestling.
dude, shine bright like a diamond, dude.
Hey.
That's what it is. Just popping out, sticking out. That's all.
Heck yeah. And for everybody else out there that doesn't know, what state or club did you wrestle in and for?
Yeah, so I wrestled in Colorado growing up. So I guess club-wise, I wrestled for a lot of different clubs growing up. But I started at Broomfield Eagles youth program, and then I wrestled at Mile High Wrestling Club, and then Colorado Elite and Legacy Bolts. And those all the kind of youth programs, and some of those throughout high school.
Okay.
Here we go.
Awesome. Were you just wrestling folk style, or did you do some freestyle in youth wrestling as well?
No, I was just folk style. My first introduction to freestyle was actually it was really cool. It was in high school, probably my sophomore year of high school, maybe my freshman year. There was a German team that came out, and we were wrestling a duel against them. So Colorado put together a team, and we hosted some German wrestlers. So we had two guys stay at my house, for a couple of days, and then we wrestled a duel against them. And so that was a really cool event. That was the first freestyle match I ever wrestled, and then kind of decided to start doing freestyle in the off season and in the summers.
Hell yeah.
Nice. And moving on to high school, where did you wrestle in high school?
So I wrestled at Legacy High School. Not really probably a nationally known high school for wrestling, but yeah, Legacy High School in Broomfield, Colorado.
Okay. Bloomfield, Colorado. Did you play any other sports in high school?
Yeah, so I played a bunch of sports growing up, and then I played football and lacrosse in high school, and then after freshman year, kind of just focused on wrestling. Was traveling a lot for tournaments, and was missing the end of football season for preseason tournaments, and then as I started to wrestle freestyle and Greco, that was during lacrosse season. So I did play a lot of other sports, and then just kind of focused on wrestling after my freshman year.
Got it. Man, lacrosse is a little unique. We haven't run across that yet. We've talked to a few guys that have done football and things. So was there any translation from lacrosse to wrestling at all? Maybe just the endurance piece, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just a lot of fun. I think
Okay.
that was kind of my mess around sport where, it's in the off season. It was, you're staying in shape, you're running and stuff, but it was, it's a contact sport. It's fast paced. It's a great sport. I had a lot of fun playing lacrosse, growing up, and it was definitely something different that kind of changed it up from other sports.
Absolutely, yeah. It does look real fun, man. So on the wrestling side of things in high school, how did you do throughout? Were you state champ? Like, how did you kind of progress there throughout your years in high school?
Yeah. So my freshman year, I took third. My sophomore year, I won state. My junior year, I lost in the finals and took second. And then my senior year, I won state again. So third, first, second, first.
Not bad.
Man,
Damn.
no doubt.
So you did say that you played the awesome sport of football too there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I like football a lot. My dad played Division II football in college, so
awesome.
Hell yeah.
I played a lot of football with him coaching, my brother and I on teams and stuff. So that was a lot of fun growing up.
What position did you play?
When I was younger, I was like a running back and linebacker. As I got older, I was kind of smaller. I kind of grew later, I guess. So I was a cornerback. But yeah, I was 100 pounds going into freshman year, playing football and stuff. So that was I wasn't running the ball anymore.
Right. So tell me, the one thing I do know about a corner, especially, is that they're supposed to be some of the mouthiest on the field. Tell me you had some jabber, right? With the wide receiver on the other side a little bit.
I've never been a huge talker.
Okay.
But I definitely like to play, and it was fun. It was a lot of like open field tackling and stuff, and I think wrestling played in with that a lot too. So it was definitely fun. I like football a lot.
So a good friend of ours out there, his son plays tackle football. I think he'd be a freshman right now. The reason why I bring that up is, like, even before he became a freshman, they took football very serious out there. We're from Iowa. They don't take it as serious as I wish they would. But Colorado takes that shit pretty serious.
Yeah, there's definitely some leagues that travel a lot and kind of are pretty cutthroat youth football programs for sure. I don't think it's anything like Texas football, but there's definitely some pretty serious football.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So it's very clear that you were a stud all the way back to high school. And then when it comes to moving up and deciding what college you were going to go to and things like that, tell us about that recruiting process and how exactly you ended up at Northwestern.
Yeah, so it was a little different. The rules have changed a little bit now, so I don't think you could get contacted until your junior year summer going into your senior year. So it was kind of like the year before, which I think you can start contacting kids earlier than that now.
Yeah.
But so I was taking a lot of visits early, fall of my senior year. And, it was kind of tough with training for tournaments and trying to travel for these recruiting trips. And I kind of narrowed it down, my 5 officials that I kind of had lined up, and then I had taken kind of some officials over the summer. But I was going to go to Northwestern, Stanford, University of Virginia. I was going to look at Virginia Tech and then Cornell. And I took 2 official visits, and then I committed to Northwestern. So I took a visit to UVA, and then I took a visit to Northwestern. And then I just kind of knew I wanted to be at Northwestern. I had visited Stanford in the summer too, and it was kind of between Northwestern and Stanford. And one of my best friends growing up, his dad was actually a 4-time All-American at Northwestern. So
okay.
Wow.
So Mike Funk.
Oh yeah.
He was.
Okay.
So he, coached us in high school a little bit. When he could come in, and in our youth program, he was one of the coaches too. And so he would bring out the Northwestern coaching staff for wrestling camps over the summer, and I had been out to Evanston for wrestling camp my sophomore year of high school, I think, in the summer with his son. So I'd kind of known the coaching staff, and once I got out here and actually met the team, and it was Big Ten wrestling, good academics, it was kind of a done deal. So that's that's how I got to Northwestern. So there was a little bit of shakeup in the fall when, right as I got here, Drew Periano was actually the coach when I committed. And I went into a practice and I came out, my phone's, blowing up, and he had just gotten fired.
Oh.
And so I got on it was a little, little scary, being a young kid, not knowing, I just picked this school, and then the whole coaching staff, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So got on the phone with Coach Torniolo, and, he was like, listen, we'd love to have you. Nothing changed on our end. Let me know if something changes on your end. And I basically told him, like, I didn't pick Northwestern for one reason. I'm still coming.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it.
That's awesome.
So it was a little difficult at the time. I'm not gonna lie. You're not sure what's gonna happen, and it worked out better than I could ever imagine. He brought in Cody Brewer and Andrew Howe over the summer.
And very nice.
So it was really cool. So yeah, it was an interesting couple months there.
So yeah, that's one hell. You just nailed one of the questions I did have, because we've never dealt with that where we can just speculate this, that, and the other about it doesn't matter whether it's free agency in any type of sport or whether it's coaching changes and the emotions that go through that. Like after you commit to, yes, you committed to a university, but you also borderline committed to that coach too, and to see someone walk out the door, or not walk out the door by choice, but yeah, they're just back and forth on that. But I do want to say that is highly impressive. You said you won state championship your senior year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you did that while you were taking visits, while sitting there still trying to stay in wrestling shape and still going and checking out these universities. That makes it even more impressive. Damn.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was a little, that's why I was, I wasn't as bad. It was early on in the season. I tried to take all those recruiting visits and kind of have the stress of committing to a college out of the way, so I tried to figure that out in the fall, and then, state wasn't until February. So that was, it was early on in the season, but definitely, I feel for those kids. You gotta kind of balance a couple of things with school and stuff too, and traveling and whatnot.
So I was curious, what is your toughest match? I'm talking about the whole time wrestling, your whole career, your whole life. What's the toughest match that you've had?
Yeah, honestly, this is probably in the practice room with Andrew Howe. He is absolutely an animal. I really believe he could just get out there and compete, on the senior level again right now. And
oh yeah,
there's days where I show up every day for 6 years thinking today could be the day that I'm gonna get Andrew Howe, and he just every day shows up. So keeps me coming back.
Well, in that case, then, is it as intense as Will Smith slapped Chris Rock?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know if it's on the same, because that was pretty intense, bro. If it's on the same level.
That was interesting. Yeah, that whole ordeal was interesting. I'd like to say Andrew Howe is definitely more intense than Will Smith.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me you've seen all these memes, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, they just don't stop coming. This is gold right now. I'm like, oh my god, I love this. I love life right now.
The internet's awesome.
I know the internet is undefeated, dude.
Yes,
I love it. Love it.
I think the best ones, I just ran across I don't know, it was 30 different memes, right? It's basically a packet of NFL memes of that situation with Will Smith. So if you get a chance, if you see that on the old socials, you need to check it out because it's pretty hilarious. It's basically every team, different players, whatever. It's good shit, though, for sure.
That's awesome.
So here's kind of going back a little bit to your freshman year there, transitioning from high school. What kind of adjustments did you really have to make to get yourself to the next level there, moving on to college? Was there any weakness?
Yeah,
what I mean? Weak points, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think, naturally you go through the adjustment period a little bit. Just wrestling in a college room. Everybody's, a much better wrestler. There's no off matches. And I think top bottom, most of the time you got to adjust a little bit. the first few months you kind of learn. You better start moving quick on bottom, or you're gonna spend a lot of time under there. And I think just the intensity physically, guys are more mature. But I think it's something you get used to. Wrestling every day, wrestling your teammates that are older and some bigger guys, and I think that you learn real quick in the preseason. It's kind of sink or swim, So I think physically it's a little different. The speed's a little bit quicker in college, but it's just like any time you step up from youth to middle school to high school to college. It's just another level.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have a question that's a little funny off base, but so you obviously know the Big Ten has a heavy, rich wrestling tradition. When you stepped out on that mat the first time you went against I'm talking about either Penn State or Iowa, what kind of feeling is that? You know what I'm saying? Like when you're going, I've always wondered, like when you step up against a Goliath, because I believe you're one hell of a monster yourself, but you still got to have, in my mind, at least I would, walk out there, I'm like, God damn, we're facing this. It's like you almost feel borderline defeated before it happens, but not in your case, I'm sure. But
yeah, I think, honestly, the first time big crowd duel, my redshirt freshman year, we went to Carver Hawkeye, duel in Iowa, and it was a really cool environment, because most of the time fans are pretty, standoffish, pretty respectful, and I think the Iowa fans were just cracking me up. I'm like warming up, and some guys screaming my name. I keep hearing Deakin. I turn around because it seemed like somebody I knew. My mom's from Iowa. I'm figuring there's somebody that that I know here. And I was wrestling Brandon Swords in that duel, and this guy looks at me. I turn around and he goes, "You better be ready for the flying eagle." I thought it was awesome. I loved it. They create a fun environment, and it was the first time I saw having security at a duel. Making sure nobody's coming close to our bench or anything, and so it's definitely a different experience. And we've had a couple duels at Northwestern where we have quite a few fans, but it's nothing like a packed house at Penn State or at Iowa. And those are fun environments. I think it's something that takes a little getting used to, but it's a really cool experience.
But they don't have the 157 champ though, right?
Right? That's another interesting question. But you wrestle at all these big stadiums and such, especially with the Big Ten championships and whatnot. What's probably the most electric, most fun place you've ever stepped foot in to wrestle?
That's a good question. Honestly, this might be a little bit of recency bias, but I thought NCAAs this year was really cool. I think the contrast from last year of having like little to no fans to this year was really spectacular. It was really cool.
Get to appreciate the crowd.
For sure. And I think it was something that like you don't really focus on it too much when you're wrestling, and then once you're done with your match, you kind of realize how many people are there and how cool of an environment it is.
Yeah, okay. Definitely.
What was I gonna say to you? That I saw something interesting on here. Let me scroll down with our notes. You beat Michigan's Will Lewan, huh?
Yeah.
That's Taylor Lewan's brother, I assume, correct?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I guess I was just assuming more than anything.
Yeah. If that's true, that's news to me. But I don't know. I don't think so.
Way to go, Danny. Way to go.
What?
You typed him, not me.
I could be 100% wrong. Somebody might need a fact check.
I'll fact check this guy later. Don't worry. That being said,
I don't see anything about his brother in here. So
why would you put Will Lewan on there?
That's who he beat.
I got you. Well, he's a man, as in Deakin is. The one thing I did want to touch on is you have some MMA experience.
I don't really. So over the pandemic, it was pretty cool. Ben Charrington was national champ. He's from Colorado. He wrestled at Boise State, I think, in 2007 or 2008. He won nationals. actually at 157 pounds. But he, over the pandemic, a lot of gyms shut down. And I kind of got connected with him and was rolling around with him a little bit. And he's Justin Gaethje's coach.
Oh.
And so he coached him in college a little bit at UNC, and he's his wrestling coach, for his career. So I was able to kind of train with him and some of the guys that cycle through there. Usman would come sometimes, and a couple other fighters, so I'd go there for wrestling practices. Over the pandemic, they have their own standalone facility. You couldn't get into high schools or just like rooms unless somebody owned their own facility. So it was a really cool opportunity to go out there and wrestle with them. And I definitely didn't want to spar with those guys too much. They'd be joking around trying to get me to spar, and I hit some mitts a couple times outside of with them, but I definitely wasn't going to spar with those guys.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you give yourself enough credit, man. I was doing this research earlier to make sure we had things kind of tied up, to make sure we don't say anything just incorrect. And I caught an interview where Gaethje was talking about how you made him feel like a bitch every Wednesday. So you got to make sure you give yourself some credit,
Yeah,
man,
a little bit of props
for
there,
sure.
right?
we stayed in the wrestling realm for that.
Right.
He's like, why don't we spar? He's a really good dude. He really is. He's just a great competitor, great scrapper. He's a lot of fun to be around, and he made it fun. So it was cool to get to train with him a little bit, and he's obviously a phenomenal fighter, and I think MMA wrestling and college wrestling, it's a little different. They got to kind of stand up a little bit more, and they're looking out to get kneed in the face, where I'm standing in a stance and stuff like that. So I think, he definitely he's a great wrestler, and he's transitioned to wrestling, MMA wrestling. So that has to be taken into account a little bit too.
What's up next?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm trying to answer that myself.
Okay, yeah.
So
Me too. I'm way older though.
Yeah, I think short term, I'm trying to figure out what I want to keep wrestling. So I'm kind of figuring out what RTC makes the most sense, where I feel like I can get the best training and reach my goals now for international wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then, long term, I'm looking at probably trying to do something once I'm done wrestling within the finance industry or something within a athletic or fitness company, and kind of trying to combine, my love for sports and then, I did a lot of my degree in my undergrad was econ, and I did a master's program in management studies. So trying to kind of figure out how I can use that and kind of figure out what how to stay in the sports world as well.
Okay. So MMA hasn't crossed your mind at all?
I mean, honestly, it's those guys. It was a lot of fun training with them.
Yeah.
It's it's definitely tempting. I think I'm really don't want to get brain damage.
Right. No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually had another wrestler say that. That's funny.
Exactly. So especially with their degrees and all that stuff too. So no reason to have to do it. It's just more curiosity. So.
Right.
No, I think it's really cool. That stuff sounds really fun. It's I think a lot of wrestlers transition well into that. It's a lot like, you're preparing for tournaments, you're preparing for fights. You understand the grind of, getting ready for an event like that. And it seems like an awesome lifestyle. I just think it's tough because you can't just not take shots in that. You're gonna take some shots, and I just don't know long term if it's worth getting hit in the head a lot, even if it's a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. So I have another question. I do a little bit of coaching with high school and youth wrestling, and one thing that we always talk about is how you make it to 157 every year. And because you look massive for the weight class, and
Yeah.
I'd love for you to kind of touch on that and what it takes to get down there and whatnot. So, because I'm sure I'll have some athletes listen to this and parents as well, and kind of, what it took to get down to 157 all the time.
Yeah, I think, every year I definitely tried to learn more about nutrition. And I think nutrition's like something that, especially this last year, I felt like I dialed in on a lot more than the years before, where it helps your performance so much, and understanding what nutrition makes you feel good and what doesn't, and understanding what you're putting into your body. And I think being disciplined with that and understanding how to manipulate your food intake and your water intake and your training schedule. And so I think, like, you're understanding it's going to look different for everybody and what they run well off of.
Yeah.
I think it's in season, you're living real discipline. You don't want to blow up too much after a competition, and make it really hard on you in the beginning of the week. I think it's getting extra workouts in, most days. Early in the week, you're getting 2-a-days in, and whether that's like a drill in the morning, then practice in the afternoon, or that's, some cardio in the morning, practice in the afternoon, lift in the morning, practice in the afternoon. And then being smart about the recovery aspect of that too. So I think, early on in the week, you're trying to eat, high volume, low calorie foods, and hit most of your carbs around your workouts before and after. Pushing a lot of water in, so your body's getting used to flushing that out. And then when you're cutting weight, that's when you kind of switch your, day out, you switch your nutrition to very high calorie foods that are low volume, so low weight. I'm trying to get 2,000 calories, 2,500 calories in while I'm cutting weight, instead of, in high school you do it wrong and you're just running and not eating all day.
I definitely did that a lot, and cut out food, water, and stuff. The wrong way, like you say.
Right.
And I tell you, when you come back this year, and I've been rooting for you to get one for a couple years now, and you missed out last year. I was like, man, he looks a little gassed, late in the season at nationals, and I was like, I wonder if he bumps up next year. And when you come back at 157, I was like, okay, that'll be interesting to see. But to see you come back and like just run a full, and you were hammering guys, but the entire match, and I was like, man, he is looking great. So it was also on my mind as well, what you changed and what you did, and you definitely, what you described, you sound like you got it dialed in this year for sure.
Yeah. What do you walk? Yeah. What do you walk around at outside of when you're obviously wrestling?
Yeah. Depends. I think mid to high 60s. It might get low 70s if I'm really. That's what I figured. Yeah. So, but it depends. I'm wrestling most of the year, and it's like if I'm making 70 kilos for freestyle, it's like I can't balloon up too much.
Right.
But in August, we take a little time off, and I think your body definitely needs a break sometimes. But I think that some guys after season put on 20, 25 pounds. I just think it's so hard on your body, and
right, almost a shock.
It really is, and some guys honestly get hurt in the off season because they put weight on, and then their tendons and ligaments aren't used to the extra weight, and they come back, usually where after a couple weeks their body kind of gets back down to their equilibrium weight or whatever. But I think, I try not to balloon up too much, but also you got to give your body a break sometimes.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. So before we get into a weird segment I have with some weird questions, just a couple weird questions, I would like to ask you to, you won a national title this year, amazing moment. Could you put out there, who you'd like to thank, people who helped you get there along the way, anything like that?
Yeah, no, I think there's so many people, and so I'm going to kind of give the recent people, and I don't want to forget everybody and be talking for 2 hours about everybody, but
sure. Yeah.
I like preface this with the fact that it takes so many people, and I've had so many people help me. There's just been, from youth coaches, strength coaches, everybody. But my family, my parents did so much. My siblings did so much.
Yeah.
Some of my best memories growing up are going on trips with my dad and, just going to tournaments and, doing fun stuff in different states across the country.
That in between time.
Right.
Yeah.
We'd catch movies. We'd go do, whatever, go to an event, go to a concert, go do whatever, and so I spent a lot of time with him. When I was younger, I'd go to the gym with my dad every day, and so that was kind of our thing, we'd hang out and catch up and get a workout in. And so that was awesome. My parents were I was so lucky to grow up with a family with such great support. And, my grandparents are at, 99% of my events too. And my brother and sister are always there. And, so that was amazing. I had so many amazing coaches in high school growing up. And then, in college, I've been so lucky that I've been around so many coaches. College wrestling, there's a lot of turnover in coaching. But I've had a lot of great guys. And I think Matt Storniolo, Jimmy Kennedy, Cody Brewer, Andrew Howe, and really Andrew Howe was my guy. He wrestled with me at least once or twice a week, every week, and traveled with me everywhere in the off season for freestyle. And there's just so many people. It's hard to really get down to everybody, but those are some people that definitely deserve some special recognition. Without Howe, I wouldn't have been able to reach my goals. He has developed me so much as a wrestler and as a man. He's an amazing person, and his wrestling IQ is insane, and just the way he carries himself and the way he leads by example is just phenomenal. Can't say enough good things about him.
Awesome. So we do a little segment called Rio's Randoms. He's gonna ask about 3 questions, usually a little off the wall, but don't take it way too serious. They're a lot of times they're a lot of funny, and we're all gonna answer them too. So,
okay.
But I'm gonna kick it over to him and do his little thing for it.
Yes, indeed. We're gonna kick off Rio's Randoms. You know what time it is?
Yeah.
All right. Rio's Randoms brought to you by Bo's Power Washing out of Belmont, Iowa. You can contact him at 641-903-1720. Hit him up for all your power washing needs. He'll mow and weed eat, anything like that. So get a hold of him now. It's springtime.
Yeah.
And he'll get you hooked up. Tonight for Rio's Randoms, going off number 1. Would you rather eat a stick of butter or have to snort a tablespoon of salt?
Oh, dude.
Oh, my God.
Ryan, go ahead.
We'll let him go first.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say stick of butter. I'm not proud to admit that we've definitely messed around, get bored at a dining hall and
Sure.
snorted a little bit of salt, and salt does not feel good going up your nose.
No, I remember when I was 4, it wasn't salt, it was pepper. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
That was not cool, man.
No.
No, I'm
So
going butter, too.
yeah, it's butter here.
Yeah, I probably got to eat the butter, man.
Yeah, man. Seriously. You can freeze that thing for all I care at that point if it's between those two.
No kidding. No kidding. So we're all on board with the eating the stick of butter.
Butter.
All right. For number 2, it can be any sport. Would you rather coach a college team or a professional team?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm going to go college. I'll go first on this one. I'm going college.
Okay.
For the developmental side, be able to see them grow and actually help them with that. I don't think you see that as much in the pros.
Yeah.
Which one are you thinking there, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I think I'm thinking college. I think it's hard to look outside of wrestling where there's not really as much of a pro wrestling, but I think it is really cool. It's a cool time in people's lives to kind of the developmental phase. So I'm going to say college too.
Yeah, this one is tough for me because, pros, obviously, you can, you look into the draft and having to draft correctly, plus the whole free agent side of things. But college would be fun. just
You're
because
a
the
coach.
kids.
You're not a GM. We're a coach in this situation. Right?
All right, but usually they're involved in some way,
Not
right?
if you're Bill Belichick, baby.
Right.
That's true,
No
man.
kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to say college. College is probably more fun, and the recruiting trips and all that kind of
So
stuff.
you're gonna leave me to try to be contrarian on this?
I don't know.
See, the good thing about the college part is that, like, the one thing you guys or that you haven't brought up was you get to build your own program. Your program,
Yeah.
it is you. It is literally
Yeah.
putting how you believe something should be ran and developing a culture. So that right there is alone is awesome. I guess I'm gonna go with the pro side because you guys all went. We're not going 2 in a row, so I'm gonna
No
go pro
kidding.
side. The positive, a lot of positives to the pros. Even higher recognition for yourself, I guess, is a positive. You're at literally the very top of it. So if you succeed, you were literally on the top of the mountain.
Yeah,
right?
win a championship.
Yeah, for sure.
Now it's hard for me to say. We're gonna have to
I
do
know.
clean sweep. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's college.
Hey, it's
because
okay,
I get
'cause I was on the fence.
I have a huge thing. All my kids do some version of sports, right? And I have one that does travel baseball. And when you go and start the season, and then fast forward to the end of the season, watching the growth of every single player, not just
Yeah.
my own son, not just my own kids, seeing everybody grow from the start to the finish is huge to me. I love seeing that. So, and you see that all the way up to college too. I mean, through college, because they're still doing it with passion, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd have to roll that way.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough one for me to pick. And my last one for tonight, who would you rather have to fight, Mike Tyson or Brock Lesnar?
Ooh. All right, Ryan, you're up first.
Oh, that's tough. Honestly, I'm kind of want to say Mike Tyson, but is this like, are they in their primes or are they right now?
Oh, we're going to say in their prime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say in their primes. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's just asking for trouble either way. I'm gonna say Mike Tyson. I think that Brock Lesnar is bigger than him, isn't he? He's just like
yeah.
Probably.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a mammoth.
Yeah.
of a
You
man.
know?
Imagine stepping on the line, lacing up your shoes, and stepping on the line against that guy.
Like, God
they're
damn.
definitely both animal and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say Tyson, as crazy as that sounds.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Brock Lesnar on this one, and the only reason why I'm with you guys on this part, I'm with you on the God. You step on the mat, and this dude's like 6'9", 400 pounds of muscle. I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm also not looking forward to my flesh being eaten because we also said his prime.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So you know what? I'm gonna
My
roll.
hero.
Right, I'm gonna roll the dice with him making tossing me around like a rag doll and looking like a little bitch, and Lesnar, but I'm still gonna keep my skin. So
Let me say something related to that. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Mike Tyson, through his company that he owns, he actually has these edibles now. They're called Mike Bites, and they, they look like an ear with a piece bitten out of it. Oh, yeah. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
God, that dude just knows how to roll with his own marketing, doesn't he? He just knows how to roll with
well
it.
played.
Well played.
I'm going Mike Tyson. If he touches me, I'm getting knocked out, and so it's quick. I'll be like Brock. If it's a quick thing, it's because he's broke my neck or something as opposed to knock me out. But yeah, I'm gonna go Mike just for that.
Yeah, that's it. You make a really good point right before my pick. I was gonna pick Brock Lesnar. Now you bring in breaking necks and stuff. I think he could probably do the same thing. So I'm gonna roll with Brock Lesnar.
All right,
I think.
all right.
Yeah, I don't want to be bitten. I think Mike Tyson will hit you after the bell. I think all the kind.
Oh, yeah.
He's the kind of guy that would definitely do that.
Yeah,
he
dude.
might bite you.
Dude, I watched The Hangover, dude. He dropped that dude again. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He's like, he still got it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what? That's what you got?
That, folks, is what I have for Rio's Randoms tonight. Brought to you by Bose Power Washing. Make sure to hit them up for any of your needs now that spring has arrived. Probably no snow removal.
Probably no snow removal, but
Power wash the driveway.
yeah.
He'll do it all.
Absolutely. And, before we let you go, Ryan, I want to make sure the people that are listening or watching on YouTube understand like some of the accomplishments you've had, because you just don't give yourself enough credit, which I respect that humble side of it, man. But 3 straight Big Ten championships, right, at 157. You won the Natty title here at 157 this year. And as far as I could tell, you were actually completely undefeated your senior year, and I think one loss when you were a junior, right? Or I guess the year before last. So, yeah, junior?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this man is just a stud. So if you...
In the running for the Hodge before it was decided he was in the running for it.
Yeah. So just tons of accomplishments. If you do end up leaving the wrestling, MMA, combat sports world, I just want to make sure everybody understands that. You've accomplished a ton. And so if anybody's able to use you as far as training, as far as helping with guidance and things like that, they definitely need to. So just wanted to give you credit, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's a crazy journey in college, and I'm excited for these next steps.
Yeah, definitely. I was excited to see you win a national title this year. I've been rooting for you to get one, and you looked amazing making it run through the tournament. And I want to say it's been a pleasure having you on and speak a little bit about wrestling and some weird questions we have. And we definitely appreciate you giving your time.
Yeah, it was awesome to have you on, sir. And I hope at some point down the road that you may come back on, too. Have some more discussions.
Yeah, if you flip the switch and decide to go MMA, you're hitting us up, right? You're going to announce it right here.
Yeah, I will, for sure.
Awesome. But either way, we'd still love to have you back on. You were such a pleasure to have on here and conversate about. You had plenty of funny stuff, interesting stories and stuff that was interesting. You did touch on your mom being from Iowa, so she's got to be one hell of a person in general. Like,
phenomenal lady.
Yeah,
phenomenal lady.
Yeah, so she has to be at least an 11 out of 10 just for the simple fact of being from Iowa. So
yeah,
exactly.
Personality, the whole works. Yeah.
Yes.
But thank you very much for being on and giving us your time, sir.
Of course, I really appreciate you guys. I'm sure we'll be talking in the future.
We greatly appreciate it. Podcast will be on tonight, and the YouTube video will be on sometime tomorrow. Check her out.
Sounds great. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right. See ya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Stud
for sure.
Time that out.
That was pretty interesting. I think there's one consistent theme with these guys, whether it's from whether Jose or Christian, all the way up to him, even Malachi. Like the group, the family, the friends around him, they always have a big group of people supporting them.
Yeah.
Daryl, right? Yeah, there's always a big group of people supporting them, and really that's helping carry them and get them where they need to be. So that's I love that shit, man.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. How much goes into all that? It isn't just the athlete. You need some version of support and able to be successful, especially at the highest levels.
Yeah, 100%. Well, now that we got that out of the way, man, that was a good conversation. So
For sure.
I'm a big fan. What do we got going on out there for news and shit?
Well, you just took the thunder off the one. Something came across our phone. Bruce Arians retired, evidently, and Todd Bowles has been named interim.
Out of nowhere.
So I don't remember. I can't remember exactly what I read like a while back at the end of the season. I was just kind of talking to you guys about it off air. There were reports that Brady and him weren't exactly seeing eye to eye at the end of the season.
Yeah, there's even a report just a week ago that came out. So GM confirmed that there was friction between Tom Brady and Bruce. So that has to play in.
I wonder if that has everything to do with that right there. Like this is I was ready to move on. Tom Brady comes back. Now it's like, you know what? No, I'm good. I could be 100% wrong in this, but it kind of feels something like that.
Yeah, no, I think Bruce is the kind of guy that wants control of the reins all the way, but matter of the fact is you can't. Tom Brady will.
Not as long as Tom Brady's under contract.
Yeah,
he's
whatever
your
team he's on, he's going to have hold of the reins in some fashion.
I call all my boyfriends daddy.
Exactly.
So, yes, Brady is the big boss man, whether he's the player or not. So, I'm going right into it. He's kind of like a power guy, Arians.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Because
he said to get to deal with. Yeah.
You remember, like, he said, no way Antonio Brown's coming to this team.
Yep.
Tom Brady's like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
What happened? They did exactly what
How much
Brady
better
did.
were they with Antonio Brown too?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. But when you start going, and there's been more than just those. It's little stuff here and there throughout the season, and him coming back now too. That, all that stuff kind of takes its toll. Like, all right, you guys aren't even listening to me anyway. So, I have a Super Bowl ring now as a head coach, so I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to walk. Not to mention his health too, because it wasn't that long ago where he had severe health issues when he was with the Cardinals.
Yeah, and he was walking around with that bag around him.
For the Achilles, right?
Yep.
Just waiting for it to rupture.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, that one was a little bit of a surprise, shock. So
Doesn't he seem like maybe related, maybe not, but he seems like a guy always red-faced, like definitely super high blood pressure, right? Just always fired up.
Yep.
Heart attack waiting type of a guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough, man.
Yeah. We'll keep with the NFC South then. The Saints agreed to terms with quarterback Andy Dalton to a 1-year deal worth up to $6 million, with $3 million guaranteed to serve as Winston's backup. With that, new coach Dennis Allen confirmed Tuesday that the Saints plan to use Taysom Hill primarily as a tight end.
Yeah, I did see that. He wasn't a good passer. You pretty much knew what he was going to do, and any time he come in and lined up under center.
Mm-hmm.
I think the old red rifle. He'll
Good
be
backup.
serviceable.
Good
yeah.
backup.
Good
Yep.
backup.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to be sleeping on the Saints, actually. And you know me, hate the Saints. But Jameis Winston was balling out last year until he got injured.
Yeah, on pace for 82 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean,
First game, that was
and then that silly injury just
Oh,
kind of nipped her right in the butt.
shattered it. No, for how bad that team was, that defense is so good they almost made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yep. Cornerback Patrick Peterson is returning to the Vikings on a 1-year deal that he announced on his own podcast before he hangs it up and comes to 3 Gig Sports podcast.
Yeah, one more last run, and then he's going to join the staff here
Yeah.
at 3 gigs. So
I'll hit him up.
Yeah.
We'll see what's up.
Let's see what's up. But a lot of people don't realize he actually had a pretty damn solid season last year in the redemption year. It gets hidden because the defense wasn't looking too good, but it looked really bad when he was on the field. Remember, he missed a few games because of injury, and it looked really bad.
yeah, they didn't have much for cornerbacks there, so
No.
any kind of bright spot.
Yep.
No, he definitely lost a step, but I mean the leadership that he brings
Yep.
and how much he helps, just in that respect, just being there kind of thing.
Right.
I think it's a big deal. And he's said over and over he wants to come back. So.
Right. Well, his lose a step versus our lose a step is what he ran a 4.27,
Yeah.
and now he runs what, a 4.47. I
Yeah.
think he'll be all right.
I think so
Right.
too.
I don't know what he really runs, so I'm not taking a shot at you. I don't know what you really run. You're probably still sub 4.4. Keeping with them Saints. Saint safety Malcolm Jenkins announced his retirement Wednesday after a 13-year NFL career that saw him win Super Bowls with 2 different franchises. Jenkins drafted by the Saints in the first round at Ohio State and played for New Orleans from 2009 to 2013 before spending 6 years with the Eagles from 2014 to 19 and then finishing up his career in New Orleans the last 2 seasons. He won Super Bowls with the Saints in 2009 and the Eagles in 2017, and he was selected to the Pro Bowl in 2015, 17, and 18.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all realize, but kind of a big hit the Saints are taking on the back end of that defense because they lost their other safety as well, signed somewhere else. The kid who missed a tackle on old boy in the mirror.
Stephon Diggs, baby.
Yeah,
You mean the best playoff moment in NFL history?
Yeah, too bad y'all couldn't.
Yeah, our Super Bowl was that one.
I was
Don't
gonna
matter.
say y'all Super Bowl.
Our
Was
Super
right
Bowl
there.
was that one right there.
Next week it got ugly, but
Yeah.
So they lost him. and
hold
then-
on to his Eagles.
Yeah.
So we wrap right back
Yep,
around.
yep.
Yeah.
So they're gonna lose some pieces on the back end there.
I agree. It is one hell of a hit. The one thing that you have, especially when you have like young corners or even if you have some banged up corners, is damn good safeties.
Can help.
Pro Bowl, All Pro.
Hold on, let's clear that up. He was who gave up the touchdown to Diggs?
He didn't.
No. The
Not
other guy
Jenkins,
they
the
lost.
other dude.
The other guy they
Yeah.
lost. Okay.
Because
that's
they
what I was-
had a
wait
young.
minute.
Yeah.
They had a young guy. Gosh, what was his
Is it
name?
Marcus something? No. Yeah.
maybe something like that. But yeah, he signed somewhere else, so they lost him, and then now this guy retiring. So
Okay, I got you.
Which safety missed tackle on Minneapolis Miracle? Marcus Williams.
yes, there you go.
He came to deal with a 5-year deal with the Ravens. That's where he went. So yeah, absolutely. Good safeties, like I said, help cover up maybe some deficiencies at corner.
Yeah.
So that hurts a little bit, and not to mention the leadership side of that too.
Yeah.
So, NFL owners approved a modified proposal for overtime Tuesday that will guarantee each team a possession, but only in the postseason. The rule for regular season games, which allows the team with the first possession to win if it scores a touchdown, will remain for at least this season. Ultimately, it passed by a vote of 29-3.
Okay.
So I think we're everyone's all quiet. I think it's kicking the can down the road even more. It's
like they said, temporary.
Yeah,
So-
not just the temporary. I'm like, all you're doing is just moving the rule to expanding the rule even more to the same thing that it already is. You're just adding a
Possession.
Yeah.
2 possessions to it, right? Basically.
and it can still happen the exact same way. And then then someone's gonna bitch that, oh, they didn't have another opportunity. I'm like,
Yeah.
play defense. The more I keep thinking about this, I'm starting to wrap my mind around. You know what? Sudden death is sudden death. I don't think there should be ties. I've said that many times. I don't think there should be ties in the NFL. You need to figure something else out. But I don't think this is it. All you did was literally expand it out or take the time. You might as well play another quarter. Let's play a fifth quarter of football.
At the very least, if they said each team gets a possession, the second team that would get the possession, if they score, that should determine the game. So they go for 2, either make it or don't, right?
You have to go for 2.
Yeah, you have to, right? So the game is decided there one way or another, not a tie.
Yep.
Because it's like your defense gave up that first touchdown. Now you can win it or lose it on the offensive end. And that's where it's decided, right? If you're going to do that, it should end like that. I don't know, because all you're doing is you both score, you both kick a field goal. Now the next team that scores wins. So it's the same fucking thing.
It is.
Just a little bit later in the game, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
And this all stems from, you guys know what it stems from, obviously, the
no idea.
Bills and Chiefs.
Yeah.
And that stemmed from defense not doing his job because it never should have went to overtime anyway for anyone to cry about Josh Allen never touching the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Roger Goodell says Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson could still face NFL discipline under the league's personal conduct policy, but the commissioner's exempt list is unlikely.
Yeah, I'm still on board with Baker stays there, and they keep him at least until that is settled. Now, if it comes out he misses no games, I can see them, either we'll just straight out cut him or trade him for, pennies. But I think they do keep him because, quarterbacks went like crazy there. Who is left to sign that can say he gets 10 games?
Remember? Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They don't need the Baker, but
I don't know, though.
Is he any better or worse than
I was
Baker?
going to say he's probably about the same.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I imagine he stays there because they probably feel that he's better than I would imagine. Because otherwise they'd have shipped him out.
Yeah,
I'm calling my shot right now. They're asking for too much. They're going to end up having to cut him, and they're going to cut him.
Yeah,
So-
I have no idea what they're actually going to do with Baker. Really give a shit because he's not going to matter this year.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about that was they said he could still face consequences. Shit will blow up if this man didn't get suspended at some level
Yeah.
in this season,
agree.
right?
He
Yep.
should. He should.
Yep.
get
Oh, my God. Imagine. Dude, imagine. With all the shit. People have been suspended for way dumber shit. Gambling this year. Fucking pulling somebody's
when that player
titty
wasn't
out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all sorts of shit
Yeah.
that are way less on the, criminal aspect. And this dude could get nothing.
Yeah.
So the way they said that is really interesting to me. He could still face, excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm with you. It's got to be, I believe, I'm still sticking with it'll probably be 6 games. That's what I'm going to ride with now. 6 games. Not saying that's fair or not fair. I'm not throwing
Yeah.
my judgment on that, but I think it's going to be 6 games. And then they definitely need to bring down the gambling one down to 6 games too. Then if you're going to do something like that, in my opinion, but
Yeah, I think definitely for sure. Which is, I wonder why I haven't seen the appeal yet. You know, because usually when they come out, they immediately do it, right? So wonder what's taken so long there. But yeah, I think I'm on board with the 6 games. I see it being 10, and they appeal right away, and he gets somewhere between that 6, 7, 8 games, somewhere right there. But he definitely still needs
what do you think he should get? If you were the commissioner, what would you give him? And I'm not talking about what he tries to come back with and say or appeals. I'm talking about what would you initially give him if you were the commission?
I give him 12. Because you figure the appeal, and then you come down to
no appeal. Just like you're just literally. Let's assume that whatever you're giving him is he has to take it. Let's put it that way.
8. I go half the games.
Okay.
This is still a bad light you put the NFL in, and that's ultimately conduct detriment to the league is, and that's what all these other boys have been suspended. He should get it as well because it's putting a bad light on.
Take historical bullshit out of it, because that's the problem, is the precedent that they've set with these other things.
Mm-hmm.
I would say at a personal level, he didn't get charged with anything.
Mm-hmm.
He might not end up having to pay anything out because it sounds like there's not enough evidence for this shit. So on a personal level, I'm going to say minimal to none, because if he wasn't getting charged with anything, what the hell are we doing? Why are we going to be the judge if the judge already said nothing, right? So that's what I would say. The problem is the precedent that they've already set with different things, right? So they suspended for the gambling. They suspended for all these different things. Mm-hmm. So now it's like you have to. So it's like you're obligated to, but they shouldn't in reality, right? Because he's not in trouble.
Not unless they can prove that he did something. There might not have been enough evidence for criminal charges, but doesn't mean that. I'm with you. I agree with you 1,000%. If there's nothing there, and it's just some weird pile on where we've talked about in the past, like you got a massage and and it got blown way out of proportion, and then they piled on like 22 other people or whatever the case is for the civil suits. Then yeah, but if there is some version of betrayal, which the NFL has maybe even better investigators than the U.S. government, they'll find out if there was something that would be for the contract detrimental. I'm with you. I'm with both of you. I really am. This is really difficult. That's the reason why I asked you.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you should be punished if you didn't do anything wrong. So that's the reason why I wanted to say, if they find out he did nothing wrong, he shouldn't get punished then. Now, if there's a little bit of something there, there's a little bit of truth to that, then yes, you should get something because it's still underneath that rule right there, right? So if there's a little bit of something, then mine would probably be 4 to 6 still. I think I'd probably ride right around that 6 still. That's kind of where I would do but it's got to be like, I'm talking about, I'm going to read the deets on this, I'm going to go through every page and make sure that it's as minimal as you possibly could, like a misunderstanding type of thing, you know? It will come out. I don't know if it will come out. You think it would have came out because you went through 2 court proceedings, right? So I don't know what the attorneys for the 22, 23 victims had, but you think they would have already came out with that if they had something more solid.
Right.
I love my Ravens. I don't know who the hell is putting that false narrative out that I'm having thoughts about leaving. Stop trying to read my mind. Lamar Jackson wants to end all speculation that he is looking to leave the Baltimore Ravens amid contract talks being stalled. So that quote I just gave you was on his Twitter. But it sounds like he's not trying to be a drama queen or anything like that. I think he literally, these ridiculous contracts that just got handed out just threw a massive curveball towards.
Oh, yeah, I think he played it out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Waited, see what everybody else had signed for, and then he's like, okay, here you go. Mm-hmm. Look at what the table's set at.
The Browns just guaranteed a full $230-something million contract. Or what was it, $250, whatever the hell it was.
About $250, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That means there's nothing to do. You just mortgage your whole future. And technically the NFL could literally They could put him on the exempt list. Then he's not out there on the field. Then you could get suspended if you find something on top of that. And he got that money. So they're doing it. That's how important the quarterback position is. You get desperate.
That's why I was so shocked when Kyler Murray did his thing. Like, I'm all for, and I understand I want to get paid, longevity if I get hurt, this and that. But at the end of the day as well, you waiting is only going to help, buddy. You waiting 1 year is it's going to help.
Yeah.
That's the difference between probably another $15 million at least, I would say. Easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about a guy who has been an MVP who, because he was out, their team didn't make the playoffs, and he always makes the playoffs, right? He's got a lot of cases that can be built for himself to make top 5 quarterback money, as far as I'm concerned, right? Yep. Top 7, whatever, in that range. In that with Aaron Rodgers, with Deshaun, with all that just bumped that shit way up, man.
Yeah.
So
they supposedly said, the Ravens have said that they're not ashamed of throwing the money at him. So I don't know if the dude is still just kind of waiting a little longer because he's not worried about the contract right now. He's playing out his 5th-year option, which is a little over $20 million.
Mm-hmm. Maybe waiting on
21,
Kyler?
22. It could be. It could be see what he gets because he'd be getting a contract even a year sooner than what he's supposed to be getting.
Right.
So he could be waiting on that. He claims that. I just read you the tweet that he said. He's like, this isn't a drama thing or whatever. That's how I took it. This isn't a drama thing. I'm tired of you guys saying that I want to leave. I'm a Raven. I love the Ravens.
Yep.
So I do like to hear that. I like to see that. This is just simple business. We're supposed to chalk it up as business whenever owners and GMs ship players out and cut them, right?
Yep, exactly.
There's a business side of this everyone needs to be patient on, right?
Yeah, and in his case, they expect him to be this mobile quarterback. And mobile quarterbacks get hurt way easier than just stand in the pocket, Peyton Manning-style quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So there's a bigger risk for him than a lot of other guys too, right? So he needs to make sure he gets paid.
I don't blame him. It may be even a bigger risk for the Ravens not to not sign him because you literally built your whole offense around this man.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
No. I know you're not. I'm just saying in general. I'm like, just think about that for a second. Like you literally put all your eggs in this basket already because you modeled your offense completely after this guy's skill set. That wouldn't be a quick turn if he decided that he was going to leave.
Right.
You don't have the pieces that you would for a traditional-esque offense.
Yeah.
You're built for how you run with him. And obviously you've seen that. Tyrone Huntley did a nice job, but he's no Lamar Jackson. That's the reason why that system isn't necessarily going to work for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, touch on. Yep. I'm going to slaughter this name. Nasauruddin Imavov has been removed from this scheduled fight with Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 273 on April 9th in Jacksonville, Florida, because of visa issues. The UFC announced Monday. The bout has been canceled from the card. The UFC said Gastelum tweeted that his team is trying to figure out other options. Middleweight Dricus Du Plessis is replacing Imavov in the fight, sources told ESPN's Brett Okamoto. That one Du Plessis dude of South Africa was scheduled to fight on the card already against Anthony Hernandez. Your boy Imavov is one of those Dagestanians, by the way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I don't know much about him.
I'm sure he's a stud.
So, I'm sure he's probably pretty good.
It says he's 11-3. He's won 2 straight. Most recently, a second-round TKO win over Edmund Shabazian at UFC 268 in November.
Yeah.
These names get so... I'm telling you, real quick, before I let you go, I'm telling you, these guys, the UFC, when you sign a contract, you should have them. They need to have a nickname of some kind. Much shorter. Like Izzy. What's wrong with the name Izzy or something? Or Iv. I don't care what you do. Just do something. These are like...
Yeah. Tough to pronounce.
With all due respect.
I feel Gastelum has almost become a stepping stone anymore. He had the potential a while ago and just could never capitalize on it, being weight cutting, be it and then finally when he would make weight, he'd come out and fall flat. And it almost feels, unfortunately, like he's become a younger stepping stone for the division. It's kind of how I feel. If you can fight him and hang with him and beat him, you probably belong in the UFC. He's not quite on the way out yet. He's good enough to be in the UFC, but not at that top tier level.
Yeah.
Yep.
This came across just a couple hours ago. Seton Hall hires Shaheen Holloway as a new men's basketball coach after a historic run at St. Peter's. Worst kept secret in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
good hire for sure. I mean, he showed he could get, young, inexperienced players to play and ball out and play for him in his style, and it worked out.
Hopefully he brings some of that to Seton Hall, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him.
For sure.
Like his energy.
Hit us up. I did hit you up in your DMs on Twitter.
Yeah.
We'd love to talk to you about it.
He got
Give
up
us
in the
a shout.
DMs.
No.
That's the only thing you sent to his DMs, right, Rio?
Well,
No, I don't. You didn't do some Mike Honcho shit, did you?
Oh, man. That's my Playgirl subscription.
Oh, Jesus.
I told you. I don't know if I told Danny this. Fantasy football idea. The loser has to submit to be put in the Playgirl. And the second place winner or loser has to take the photos.
Oh. I think. Do you think Rio will be taking a dive on purpose then?
He would. I think he's trying to be the photographer.
What's up? Be bad, but not quite bad enough. Ha ha. I got him.
I don't care what the rules are for those guys, so that's totally fine.
This is how it starts. As soon as you say something, that's where you bottom out, and not in a good way. Not in the good way that like that a wife would like either.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
Clippers Paul George scores 34 and returned from a 3-month absence to fuel a 25-point comeback versus the Jazz.
Wow.
Impressed?
That definitely on the comeback for sure. I think he's going to be getting buckets anytime he's in and healthy. So I guess not surprised by his output, but definitely surprised by the comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jazz, man.
Very
what's wrong
hit
with
and
them?
miss, right?
Very hit and miss. I don't know whatever it is with Donovan Mitchell, and just can't get him over the hump. He's going to be turning into Damian Lillard here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Kind of almost reminds me of it. Can't quite get him over the hump, but keep him in the conversation.
So it keeps you out of that top tier pick.
Yeah.
Always a playoff contender. Always in the playoffs. Just not quite. We'll see. But I'm with you actually, because he takes over in the playoffs too. He'll win some exciting games for you, and then you know what? Just not quite enough talent around there because
nobody wants to go to Utah.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not?
It rhymes with shithole.
You can't do that. Got coughs, baby. Dude, I went through this whole pack almost. Make sure I'm trying to keep the coughs out there. Lakers stumble out of play-in position after a 128-110 loss to your Mavs and are now 11th in the Western Conference.
Yeah, it's funny.
Was without LeBron and AD.
Yeah. People trying to defend LeBron and the Lakers, and I think they could stay out.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
I don't think so either.
I hope they don't, because I don't want to see him get embarrassed in that play-in tournament that you shouldn't be, because you're already the Lakers anyway, and then LeBron.
They might have the toughest schedule in the NBA left. So it's up there. If it's not the toughest, it's up there. I don't even think they're going to get in now.
Yeah. The last 2 years they were in the top 5 in total defense, right? Up until this year. After they made that trade, they traded away all those defensive pieces, went all in with Russell, and now they're ranked hovering around 20th in the league.
Yeah, what did they give up against the Mavs? 85 points in the first half or something stupid?
Yeah.
Something crazy.
What?
Luka had a trip dub a couple minutes into the third.
Yeah.
That's where they're at. That's where they're at in life right now. That's the reason why we're not paying attention to the Utah Jazz of all people that are kind of been up and down like you were just so eloquently putting it, because we're having a conversation about the Lakers. Didn't expect this massive fall.
Yeah, not that big.
Mm-hmm.
Not this big. Now you're not even in the play-in tournament, Holmes.
Right.
They do supposed to get AD back this They're talking about Friday, maybe Saturday. Friday or Sunday, sorry. There are 2 games there. LeBron already went back home during their road trip right now to rehab that ankle that's kept him out. I don't know. I don't want any more false hope, so I'd rather. And false hope, I mean, I'm not a Lakers guy. I'm a LeBron guy.
Let's flip it. Let's be optimistic. So AD comes back, back's against the wall. They got to win a bunch of games. They get in. They're the hottest team in the league at that point because they had to be. You know, they had to win fucking 8 straight or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then they roll. And then what? They play Phoenix and get their asses whooped in the Western Conference Finals or what?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, for sure.
They'd have to hope for some dum-dum, and they end up against the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors be off of their shooting. They've been without Curry, so they haven't been playing the same either.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it would have to line up perfectly for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're getting shit smacked either which way. You know, it doesn't matter. Celtics center Robert Williams III expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks after surgery to repair his meniscus.
Yeah, that's a big deal. We haven't talked about the Celtics really at all.
No.
And they've been the hottest team in the NBA since the All-Star break, I do believe.
Yep.
Like winning 83% of the games since that point. They've been great, and he's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Sounds like he would be back by the playoffs, right?
So it looks like if everything goes well, he should be back by what would be the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Okay.
Which they should be. They should be. If they're not in the second round when they're flirting with between the 1 and 4 seed.
Yeah.
Because they kind of fell. They dropped because the East is so tight right now. They lost the other night, and they were number 1 seed. They dropped all the way down to 4.
Wow. Yeah, that's
so
tight race over there.
It is. So if they climb back up in there, I don't see why they wouldn't be in the second.
Depends if they end up as like 2 seed and end up having to play Brooklyn. Yeah, that's when it's different, right?
Nobody wants any part of that action. Not with Kyrie back and everything clicking. So, none of the big news for us. Iowa sophomore Keegan Murray will enter the 2022 NBA draft. I am forever grateful that Coach McCaffrey gave me the opportunity to live out my dream, Murray said. I will always be my home, and I'm forever grateful to be part of Hawkeye Nation. Murray's the number 5 prospect, according to ESPN. Was named a consensus first-team All-American after averaging 23.5 points, 8.7 rebounds, 1.9 blocks in 32 minutes per game. He led Iowa to a Big Ten tournament championship after being named most outstanding player when he scored 103 points in 4 games. He is a finalist for some of the most prestigious postseason awards in college basketball, including the Wooden Award, Naismith, Lou Olson, and all of which are presented annually to the top player in D1 men's basketball.
Yeah, buddy. I'd leave too. Top 10 pick for sure. Go make some money.
For sure.
Especially where you started up at. I didn't read all of his story at first. You know, I've been a fan of theirs. Him and his brother I told you about that. They were 0-star recruits.
Yep.
He actually took a year. So if I read that correctly, he graduated, I do believe, from Cedar Rapids or somewhere here in Iowa. Wasn't getting recruited, had one D1 offer, and I think it was like Western Illinois. Decided to re-enroll down in, like, there's a Florida academy down there. Him and his brother went down there, and then they played a season or something like that, and then came up and got recruited. They still were 0 stars. I think maybe they had bumped up to 2 by that point, but they were 0 at one point. And to climb where he climbed in 2 years is highly impressive. His brother isn't quite there, but he showed sparks this season that he could take that. He could possibly take a step like that this year. But Keegan made himself all kinds of money this year. That's for damn certain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's today's
for sure.
He's today's NBA player. You know, I do believe 6'9", can shoot the 3. He's high energy guy. Will come in and rebound, like do everything. So he earned himself some money.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer sued The Athletic and former reporter Molly Knight on Tuesday, accusing them of creating and spreading the false narrative that he had fractured a woman's skull during a sexual encounter. The Athletic reported last June that there were signs of a basilar skull fracture, citing a declaration by the woman. The lawsuit says CT scan results included in the medical records attached to the complainant's declaration and possessed by the athletic definitively concluded that she had no acute fracture. Athletic spokesman Taylor Patterson said in an email, "We are aware of legal actions taken by Trevor Bauer. We're confident in our reporting and plan to defend against that claim."
Yeah, I don't know. Wording is everything, right? So, if you say she had a fracture and she didn't, I mean, if you heard anything, and let's take out the against a woman, but if you heard, yeah, he's got a fracture or they have a fracture, they got hit and they have a fractured jaw, wouldn't you be like, holy shit?
Mm-hmm.
Or they got hit and they've got, they're bruised up and whatever.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different context. So,
Yeah.
I guess I get his side on that aspect.
That's some rough ass sex, anyways, dude. Even if it was
Yeah.
all consensual,
Yeah.
the fact that they had to take a CT scan of that woman's head in the first place showed that you didn't.
Right. Yeah. No
Like,
kidding.
damn, dude. Like, what do you like? You're pile driving her into the headboard? I don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if it's all consensual. Like, I'm not trying to make full jokes of it, but
Right. Yeah, I read some of the text messages that come out, and yeah, it's just crazy some of the stuff she's asking, and he's like, "Are you sure? Like, what the hell?" And I don't know. I mean, just pretty much let it play out and see what happens.
Yeah, that's all you can do. It's probably embarrassing for him.
Oh,
'cause
yeah. Oh,
Some
yeah.
of the responses, he was kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like, okay.
yeah.
And then all this comes out. Now all the attention's on him when it seems like he's not that guy.
Right? Because if
Right?
you read the text messages, she was like, "Oh, what? Oh, okay. You want me to hit you hard? Like, oh, okay."
yeah.
Definitely embarrassing for sure for
Yeah.
him, and yeah, the messages I read and how I perceive them, it was like he was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. And then now all of that's out in the light when he isn't that guy,
Probably,
right?
yeah.
So he's like, fuck this. And she had to get a fucking CT scan. Oh, never again. He's going celibate.
Does your wife do this to you?
Yes.
You get headboard banged, don't you? Just bow, bow.
Would we? Hey, you know what? Maybe some girls are like that. That's what it kind of the female orgasm. It's like it's a Rubik's cube.
A Rubik's Cube?
Yeah,
it's
It's a Rubik's Cube down
it's a
there.
Rubik's cube that's all blacked out, so you don't really know what it takes to
Right.
get there.
Yeah.
Dude, it takes her that much. Damn. Like, dude, if I were him, as soon as she starts doing that, I'm like, all right, this has timeout. This has lawsuit written all over it at some point here, at bare minimum. Let's just go ahead and move on to another, one of those wonderful ladies of the night.
Right. You gotta stay one step ahead.
A wonderful
Put
lady of the
hot sauce
night.
in your condom.
With the hot sauce. Some Cholula.
I keep that thing on me.
MLB announced the launch of MLB Home Run Derby X, a global baseball tour making stops in London, Seoul, and Mexico City, featuring former stars Adrian Gonzalez, Johnny Gomes, Giovanni Soto, and Nick Swisher. Gonzalez will represent the Dodgers, Gomes the Red Sox, Soto the Cubs, and Swisher the Yankees. The four teams representing MLB's oldest franchises will compete July 9th in London at Crystal Palace Park, September 17th in Seoul, and October 15th in Mexico City in venues to be announced later. Intrigued at all?
A little bit. I mean, supposed by the old names, but what is this? Like, just trying to get people more into
Anything.
baseball, anything like that?
I think they're trying anything. So I know a hot topic. I don't know if you guys know like how big a topic it's been, but this Apple deal the MLB made, where what is it? Once a week, it's on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pulling. I vaguely touched on it, but I don't think we realized how big a deal it was. It's pulled from all networks except for that. So Yes Network, which you have to pay a subscription for, its own subscription.
Yep.
Any one of these other major leagues. So it's another subscription that you have to pay for to watch. They also have a special deal with, it's either, I think it's Peacock.
Didn't you, hold on, for the Apple deal, didn't you say it was free this year?
No.
On
free for the first month, I think.
Or first month.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, $5 isn't much, but they all add up, right?
Yeah, eventually.
You pay for that one. You pay for Peacock. You pay for your internet,
Netflix,
or whoever you use, Hulu.
TV streaming service. Yeah, it all adds up eventually.
Yep.
But it comes back to, I think the MLB is trying really, really hard, try to appeal any way that they think is possible. I don't know if this is the right. I don't think this is the right move right here, but they need as much coin as possible for what they just went through. But on top of that, kids, I know all of ours do for sure. Tablet junkies, right?
Yeah.
Tablet, phones. So any shot that they have of trying to get these kids to watch some baseball on something that's portable. But then you have to get the Apple Plus TV anyway, so.
No, you don't.
Why?
Because you don't need it. You just have the app.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm saying you still have to pay for it, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you said you have to get the Apple Plus TV, so.
Oh, I just meant like the subscription.
The app itself.
Yeah, actually having to pay for it. That's what I'm getting at.
I got you.
The 2022 Women's Final Four is set. 3 number 1 seeds are making their way to Minneapolis. And after a double OT thriller in Bridgeport, Connecticut, the second-seeded UConn Huskies will join the South Carolina Gamecocks, Stanford Cardinal, Louisville Cardinals in the national semifinals.
Very cool.
I did not realize that the UConn Huskies played basically a home game.
Yeah, listen to this. This is we touched on this the other night. You're like, remember when UConn used to be dominant in women's basketball?
Like,
they still are. This is their 13th straight Final Four.
Wow.
yes. What? Absolutely. But for context, what did I say about dominant, though?
No, for
Yeah.
sure. Winning the championship, right?
No, not even just the championship. Like we were talking about when are they ever going to lose a game again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
They
what it
won
was
like
about.
90 some straight
Something
at one
crazy,
point, right?
Yeah. And then they lost one, and then went on another little tear there again. They had 5 losses this year. That's like
Unheard of.
how many years did it take them to get 5 losses before?
Yeah.
Combined. But yeah, no. How many years did you say? 13?
14. So
14.
this year was 14th straight. Yeah. Jesus, man.
That's success, baby. The WWE will begin talent tryouts Wednesday for 45 current and former college athletes, including 19 football players, as part of WrestleMania week in the Dallas area. The 3-day tryout, taking place at Dallas Cowboys headquarters in Frisco, Texas, will include evaluations for performance and promotion, as well as interviews and technical sessions in the ring. The tryout, along with the name, image, and likeness program WWE launched in December, is designed to identify and sign younger athletes for its developmental program. All 53 participants at this week's tryout, 29 men, 24 women, are 25 or younger. 8 participants did not compete collegiately, but stood out in MMA and CrossFit.
Daniel Roy, you can live your dream.
Yeah, there you
Said he had his
go.
finishing move and everything.
Yeah,
Here it is.
Yep.
There it is, baby.
Let's go.
Right in your backyard.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, did you say that the other night? That cat from Minnesota has a deal already signed with
Yep.
WWE? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
smart. They're getting that talent quick
Yeah.
before they find something else. Go to MMA or whatever. So
Oh, absolutely. Well, they pay a hell of a lot more than MMA
Oh, hell
does.
yeah.
you work a hell of a lot more too.
You do. You're on the road a lot.
Yeah.
But once you become a semi-star or even a star, you can take some time off too. They let it build too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They let it build. They let it build into
Whatever.
their
I'm sure
thing.
the dollar bills don't hurt.
Yeah, just making it rain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think about taking a flight down to Dallas?
You know, I
Put your Rey Mysterio mask on.
I think I pulled something.
Yeah, I think you pulled
I'm gonna have to
something.
sit this one out.
This would be the one guy that would show up like, I'm ready to rock, and he's rocking a fucking man thong.
You
He's
would.
like, I'm ready to do it. Nobody wants to wrestle. It's a win-win.
Nobody
Nobody wants to wrestle a dude in a
My
man
only
thong.
question would be, what color you want me to wear?
Right.
So what's Rio's finishing move? Is it the Rikishi? Remember that stink face or whatever that he used to do in the corner?
Ooh.
I think I could see Rio dropping that.
I'm saying he's doing that what is that? The Cleveland Steamer?
What the
That's
hell?
what it's called.
Yeah.
We'll call it the Cleveland Steamer.
You seen the video where the guy's
He has,
like,
he has way too many shit things that have happened, so it's got to be something
Exactly.
poo related of some kind.
Yeah.
I was going
With all
more
due respect.
With all due respect. What the hell?
Hey, hold on. We got to give him a chance. What's your finishing move, Rio?
Grab him by the dick and twist.
What is that?
Yes.
Grab by the dick. He's like, this is
This is an MMA fight, dude.
It's an MMA fight, dude.
Then he like changes like, grab his dick and twisted.
Damn. And another little flirtation. Tiger Woods plays 18-hole practice round at Augusta National as Masters decision.
Let's go.
looms.
Make Tiger great again.
All these guys sound like they're excited, whether they're being fake about it or not.
Danny doesn't play like we do, so he's kind of
It seems like he's like, I might actually have a shot with a bunch of these guys not being able to play or whatever in the Masters, right?
Or not, yeah.
So he's like,
Maybe.
I think it's been
So
reported that
saying there's a chance.
that he's highly frustrated with his trying to come back from his injuries, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd just be awesome to see him back out there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has a shot to win. I'd like to see him competitive if he were to go out there, but I definitely don't want him to go out there and hurt yourself more. I'm not talking about even physically. I'm talking about like even more of your image. Like, dude, if you're not ready, wait, because we want to see a little bit more of our era of a guy out there again. Maybe whip up some of these young bucks.
The hard thing is he's going to end up like Larry Bird pretty soon, right? He's going to be body casted until the event. Then he'll get out, golf, go back into the body cast. Like, you don't want that either.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and we talk about on aspect of other sports, like Big Ben, right? He played too long.
Yeah.
We remember him for how shitty he played, right? And how bad he looked, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be that way with Tiger. It seems like we're not going to. You're still going to remember, right? The championships and the ball teetering on the edge and the fist. You're also going to remember those shitty days,
especially his last maybe like 4 years or so, maybe 5 years, for the age that's coming up now. Like, we were just talking about dominance of UConn women. Like, we're going to remember Tiger heavily also mainly because of, like, how dominant he was. It was you pick Tiger or the field.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that, right? Like, we know that. We all know that. We watch that.
Yeah.
But the image that's being portrayed out there now is people that maybe didn't see your excellence for those 10-plus years, your dominance. I shouldn't say excellence, dominance. Mm-hmm. That now the one thing that's imprinted in their head is the stuff that you've been going through these last few years. And
Let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Michael Jordan. Does anybody ever talk about how he played in Washington?
Didn't he play okay?
When you think of...
Didn't he put up decent numbers?
Ish. It's because he was
great.
Jordan. Yeah.
But not Jordan?
No.
You know?
No, but and those disappeared. But
the team wasn't good?
I think, I think he was averaging like 19 points a game or something. So one hell of a fall. But
yeah.
Yeah. So when you think about him, you don't ever think about those years. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No,
there's a chance we don't worry about this.
And same thing.
Just think back to Tiger.
Yeah, just in the moment. Maybe we're thinking about just in the moment. Same thing with Big Ben when we were talking about that. But definitely right now, last couple of years of Big Ben was not looking too sexy.
All I can remember of Tiger right now is he's pulling out another tournament. His back tightening up. He's pulling out of another tournament. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of why I bring it up.
Yeah.
Or all of his sexual escapades. That's what he's also going to go down for.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nobody talks about that anymore either.
Right, no kidding.
Yeah,
hey,
just all maybe
that's why your back is always getting thrown out because you're slinging that thing.
Slanging. How many pages of women's names was there? Jesus.
So many.
Slanging is the right word.
And that's what I had, gentlemen. My strange law. Still sticking with Florida.
All right.
Still sticking with Florida. There's plenty of them. A special law prohibits unmarried women from parachuting on Sunday, or she shall risk arrest, fine, and or jailing.
What the heck?
Yeah.
What did an unmarried woman do?
Is it because they think like they get kept more in check when they're married? Like maybe there was a drunken, crazy thing with an unmarried woman? Or?
Yeah, like if you're married and you die, your husband's going to get life insurance at least, right? But if you're not, nobody gets anything.
Or covered?
I don't know. Yeah. I can't think it. That's a stretch, so I have fucking no idea.
That's just weird as shit, right?
That is weird. That is very weird.
Yeah.
It's your weird law. Okay.
That's my weird law.
Boom. Who's got it?
I think Jimmer has a Make Sense tonight.
You know I do. We're just keeping it right over on this microphone, baby.
Perfect.
We're going to go with... Yeah, we're going to go with it. So, you shouldn't be... First off, when I tell this story, I hope and pray that you're not into any version of a lifestyle in which you feel like you have to do something like this. But
I have no idea where we're going. I'm interested, though.
It's not. It isn't quite that bad. So,
Mom, is that you?
but so I used to work at Sears. I was like 17 or so, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, back then, a lot of people around our age, maybe a little younger now, probably don't even know what Sears is anymore because they basically wrapped up and they're just like little home shops now, basically. But it used to be kind of like a Walmart or something like that. But you have a bunch of tools, Craftsman, all that. Tools was their huge big thing. Tools, lawn equipment, all that. So, when I say tools and lawn equipment and all that, usually you hear what? Cha-ching, 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 right? That's pricey stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so I was a tools consultant. Now, I have a two-part story with this, okay? Oh, man. We're going to transition. We're going to go right to the other one that just popped in my head with that. It is with this. So I was a tools consultant. Now, you've met my father, who is no longer with us, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
One hell of a massive man, height-wise, strong, the whole works. But he lived a life that was fully rock star, if you want to put it like that. Living life on the edge, always broke the law. Sometimes even when he didn't have to, it's almost like he just felt like he had to. Okay? He knows I work at Sears. He comes in, sitting there kind of trying to shoot the shit with me. He rarely comes and does any of that because he's not like a dad. He's a father. So I should have been suspicious right out of the gate. Should have been suspicious right out of the gate, right there. He's like, yeah, son, blah, 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 just being all cool about it, this, that, and the other. And he sees I have to go help somebody else, right? And he's wandering the aisles on the tools, right? And we had a bunch of tools that were locked up everywhere. I'm talking chains, the whole works. Everything is locked up.
Okay.
First off, that has never stopped Mr. James Holder Sr. So I'm looking for my dad after I'm done helping this nice old lady. And I go, he's nowhere to be seen. I know he didn't leave the tool area. So we had to go out the door. Sorry, guys. He had to walk out the exit. No. Kind of an asshole move. Didn't even say bye. All of a sudden, another tools consultant came up to me. I was like, hey, did you, when you came in, that air tool set over there that was locked up, you didn't sell that, did you? No. Damn, I need something to drink. I'm like, what? I'm like, which one? No, not that. I'm like, she's like, the $350 one. No. Go over there. And don't know how. I didn't even have the key on me, so there's no way that it could have came anywhere off my person. The key is actually kept in the register. The only thing left there is it's the chain and the fucking lock just dangling there. Right? Like, son of a bitch. Had no idea. Still didn't suspect my father, right? Still did not. Like, goddamn. Now, that place accounted for a certain amount of money getting stolen or whatever, as in tools and stuff and all that. For whatever reason. I don't know why you would do that, but. So our anti-theft policy there was, I could literally watch you walk in, pick something up, and start walking out the door. There's literally nothing I could do except for come up to you and ask you, like, hey, You need to put that back, or you pay for that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You say, fuck off, and walk out the door. Literally nothing we can do. Call the cops. Now, Walmart, you seen people stick a piece of gum, and they're tackling motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
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 Walmart's a different breed.
Yeah, they don't mess around. So this place, their insurance didn't cover any of that. So they can't have their anti-theft department or any associate go and doing anything. They just have to ask. No, I'm good. It's horseshit. So that in itself is laughable, right?
Man.
Now let's get to the part where I still didn't. I told you I had no idea where this damn air tool set is, and I got questioned this, that, and the other. I'm like, I wasn't even over by that. You know, I didn't get questioned as in like I did it, but it's like, hey, you literally are here a couple minutes and then it's not there. Like I was like, I didn't even go grab the key. What the hell do you mean? Like it takes, you know, no big deal. 2005 is the year I graduated. People, I had a graduation party at West Park in Mason City at one of the shelters.
There were balloons and...
Yeah. My father and his girlfriend at the time, or love interest at the time, strolled up. Wrapped a gift. Hey, thanks.
No!
I'm like, thanks, Dad. You know, the whole works. You know, I didn't open anything. I take this home later because I didn't live with him at this point. Open it up. What do you think it is, gentlemen?
No way.
That is awesome.
Fucking tool thing he stole.
The air tool fucking set. I'm like, first off, for 1 second, take 2 seconds to think about this on so many levels, right? Number one.
This is great.
I am not a mechanic junkie. I don't have a goddamn air compressor. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Right? What the hell am I supposed to do with that? I'm not into mechanics, all that shit. I would ask him, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Sell it. Oh, now I'm in the black market shit now? Like, I just graduated high school, dude.
Right.
What the heck?
He's like, well... He's like, Sears has a return policy. You don't need the you don't need the receipt.
What the
I'm like, I worked there. I'm like, when did you grab this? I'm like, you motherfucker. You did this when I was on the clock. It was you. It was that tool set. I didn't even know which one it was. I was like, it was that tool set, wasn't it? He's like, yeah. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? It was locked up.
Happy Father's Day.
It's like, shit, son. Don't you know my name?
Oh, my God. That is something else.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
dude.
my gosh.
That being said, R.I.P. again. The words of wisdom to this isn't anything that you all can use, just purely what I could use. And that is never trust a caring, giving dad in James Holder Sr. without there being some alternative motive right behind your back. I shit you not that this literally came up. My mom, like, she didn't know anything about the Sears part of it. She's like, what the hell are you going to do with that? I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with that. And that's where it dawned on me. And then I had to ask him. He's like, yeah. So, yeah, there's not really a moral of the story for everybody else, just for me.
That
Well,
is
maybe
so
there is.
great on
If
so
you
many
have-
levels.
If someone
awful.
isn't like normally nice to you or like whatever, like on a regular basis, and they just so happen to come around the corner one time and they're like, hey, you know, hey, buddy.
It's probably not legit.
Yep, there you go.
That is
Danny G over there has met my father, and he was one of a kind. That's for
yeah.
damn certain.
Yeah, he definitely was.
So, but yeah, I totally forgot about that until I was about to just laugh at Sears' anti-theft policy. It was going to be it. And then that dawned on me about that. I'm like, this motherfucker. And then give it to me as a gift. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
That is funny.
Jacked it while you were working,
Yeah.
only to give it to you, what, a few months later or whatever?
Yeah, was that one? So I don't know when he actually grabbed this damn thing. As in month-wise. I can't remember when it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, my graduation was what, June, July, somewhere in there for my graduation party. So yeah, I'd say a few months. I think it was like winter time, roughly winter, or at least cold, icy out at bare minimum outside when that cold, fateful night happened at wonderful Sears there. But
Well, you never know. Sometimes people just steal stuff because they can. And then he's like, now I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with this. Oh, Jimmer's graduating. I'll go ahead and give it to him, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Like, you couldn't just go sell it yourself and then give me the money in a card?
Give me the money, son.
Sears, if you're looking for somebody, you can.
No, if you're looking for the reason why Sears is no longer Sears than which it is, but they could technically blame themselves because they didn't take theft serious anyways.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, not enough to where you'd stop them, but...
No doubt.
I could not believe that.
Man, I just think back to those days. People used to wait in the bathroom until the store would close, and then once everybody left, they'd come out, rob the shit, and leave. Like, because nobody would check. They would just wait in a stall until they closed and walk out. They used to do so much crazy shit. I don't know. That is definitely a move by James Sr. though.
I could definitely go down the list at another date too. Like, there's all kinds of them, and not saying they're proud moments, but they're ones where you'll definitely get a chuckle. When it comes to my dad, it is because he felt like doing it type of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I feel you. Well, as we wrap her up, it was definitely a great interview. We had a good time with Ryan. Obviously a stud athlete and just a good dude overall.
Yeah.
If you happen to stumble upon the podcast, whether it's on the podcast platform or on YouTube, definitely be sure to subscribe. It's available where, Jimmer?
Everywhere you listen or watch podcasts at Spotify, Apple, Google, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere else in between.
100%. And make sure you hit us up. We love to tell stories. It all goes down
in the DMs. Hit us up. Get those stories to us. We'll get them out to all the folks that want to hear about it. Remember about our raffle up at Gentleman's Way in Garner, Iowa. Go get your hair cut, and then your next haircut could potentially be on us. We'll do a drawing here, in a couple weeks and pick the winner out of there.
Definitely. It's a win-win. You get a great haircut and a free one potentially next time. So check it out. But we'll get out of your hair tonight, all of you beautiful people. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3 Geek Sports.
We out.
Discussions, I've been writing, I love it.